So the current administration is cutting funds to JobCorps temporarily. And I love how they use that word, but then don't tell us when they're going to reinstate said funding. And as a result of that loss of funding, JobCorps centers across the country are shutting down, and all of them will be shut down essentially June 30th of this year. Actually, correction, all contractor-operated JobCorps centers will be shut down June 30th. So the website for the Department of Labor states that while JobCorps was initially meant to help young people transition into blue-collar work, they have found that's not the case anymore. They found that, due to research and studies and blah, 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 that it's a waste of funding, so they're cutting it. In actuality, what is happening is that they're cutting JobCorps and other essential programs nationwide to fund tax cut. So when your Medicaid gets cut, right, and you can't afford your medical bill, or your SNAP gets cut, or your WIC gets cut, and you're trying to figure out how the hell you're going to feed your baby, or more simply, when your taxes go up, right, you're making less than 100 bands a year, yet your taxes are going up. This is all happening because Donald Trump wants to give tax cuts to the ultra wealthy. These are people who already have more money than fucking God. That's it. That's all. He wants to take them from a 21% tax rate to a 17% tax rate, which is insane. I saw videos this morning of parents scrambling, trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with their kids, because a lot of them kids who were in JobCorps lived at JobCorps. Now they don't have their whole life turned upside down trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with their baby. Listen, this is ridiculous. It's especially fucked up when you consider JobCorps is literally a program meant to educate young people on how to enter into blue-collar work. It's the only way, at least today, right, for young people to pick up blue-collar trades, right, and skills that they can then turn into long-term career. I don't understand how you could cut that, having just came off a campaign where you were championing the middle class and how you're going to bring back jobs and farming and coal mining and blah, 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 blah. Ultimately, I don't know how any of this makes America great, but I really don't. I have no clue.
So they're taking away JobCorps. And don't come on here talking about they're just pausing. No, I don't want to hear that, because we all know where this is going. As someone who works in social services, I hate fucking crying on videos, but as someone who works in social services, and I watch people every day trying to make something out of nothing, giving everything they have just for a little bit better life. Our kids who are out here and don't have that many options, and to watch them take away one after the other, after the other, after the other, options that offer people a viable, sustainable life. Hate is a very strong word. It's a very strong emotion. And I tried really, really hard not to be consumed by it. But for everyone that voted for this, for everyone that sat back and didn't put the work in to not allow this to happen, I cannot express what I feel for you without using the word hate.
Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw these videos. You know, Hamaga was so excited when the principal said he was going to remove so amount of money from Harvard and put it in trade school. He wants people who work with their hands, develop people mentally, increase their capacity, in terms of having a job or something to do with their hands, like a skill. But somehow, the other administrations before him has already established trade schools, right? Like JobCorps. All of a sudden, they are shutting down, and a lot of people are not having it. People are so furious about all of these happenings right now, because this place houses a lot of children who have seen this place as a place of solace and hope. Well, guys, I'm going to let people's videos roll. Then we'll come back with the commentary. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Credit to all creators on this video. Let's go watch our comeback.
This is what I mean when I say don't pay attention to what they're saying. Just pay attention to what they're doing. Pay attention to their actions. Now, for those of you who haven't heard or who haven't seen, they are shutting down the JobCorps program nationwide. If you don't know what the JobCorps program is, consider yourself to have a very fortunate upbringing. If you don't know what JobCorps is, you probably had a very fortunate upbringing or a decent upbringing. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, the JobCorps program was a program that was initiated all around the country. I know personally, growing up down in Miami, the JobCorps program was a very, very vital program in my community. What the JobCorps program did was provided an opportunity for kids and young adults up to about the age of 20 or 21, I believe. It provided them with a alternative to those who weren't necessarily able to thrive or function in a normal high school environment. Also, it gave an opportunity for kids who were homeless. It provided them an opportunity to get an education, to get their GED, to get their high school diploma. It also provided them an opportunity to learn a trade and get job skills that they could use to be productive members of society, to be productive members of the community. It also provided housing. Again, it accepted homeless kids. So what it did, some of these programs around the country in these Job Corps, it provided housing, it provided food, it provided stabilization for these people's lives. And again, it provided an opportunity to let them become productive and learn skills that will make them able to earn a living and earn money. Now, in the beginning of the video, I said, don't pay attention to what they said, pay attention to what they're doing. It was funny watching the news last week, and, with all this thing going on about Harvard, one of those things that the press secretary said, I won't say that lady name, one of the things that the press secretary was saying was how this current administration was going to take all the money that they were getting from these, from Harvard and these other universities that weren't, quote unquote, willing to capitulate to what they wanted. They were going to take that money, those funds, and give them to trade schools and trade programs and redistribute it. Well, if that was the case, why are we shutting down a vital program that helped a lot of people, a lot of underprivileged people, a lot of people in these minority communities get those skills, get those trades that you were talking about, develop these necessary skills that they need to survive? So again, don't pay attention to what they say, pay attention to what they do, and hopefully something happens. But if not, man, RIP to Job Corps.
They want young adults and minors ages 16 to 24 to be homeless, because that's what's going to happen. Job Corps is scheduled to end 99 facilities by June 30th, which will leave young adults and minors ages 16 to 24 who don't have a place to go. They will be homeless. They are all up my FYP right now, showing themselves having to pack with nowhere to fucking go. A lot of people don't even know what Job Corps is. It is an organization that is designed, it's almost like college, but it allows ages 16 to 24 young adults and minors to get skills, skills for being an automotive technician, trade skills, being an electrician or being a plumber. And essentially, they live there, they live on campus, they build a community, they are paid, it's very little wages, but they can also utilize financial aid for their material and for their everyday living necessities and expenses. And now they're just going to take it away. They're going to take it away because they want low-income people to fucking perish. That's what they want. That's what they want. And yes, there's a lot of people of color who depend on Job Corps. Black, brown, and there are some that are white, low-income individuals who don't have anywhere to go, who won't have anywhere to go. They are packing, they are crying, they are losing their family, essentially, and they're losing their resources. And I know people are going to say, oh, you're depending on the government again. Depending on the government, not so much. They are utilizing the resources provided. What is so different about Job Corps than going to college and getting financial aid and getting a Pell Grant? The only difference is that when they get out of that, they are going to have a job. They're going to have a trade skill. Y'all complain nobody wants to do this work and nobody wants to work. Now you're taking away the only people who will be trained to do said work. You are fucking idiots. I promise you that. Whoever voted this way, kick fucking rocks barefoot, bro.
They are shutting down Job Corps, and ultimately we know what communities are going to be affected the most by this. And while everybody is absolutely entitled to their feelings about this, as opposed to us crying, screaming, and throwing up, I want to present solutions. Folks on the left, communists, socialists, Marxists, have been saying to utilize mutual aid for the longest. And we are at the juncture of society in which folks are going to have to get community-minded and quick. At the beginning of January, I started paying for Black folks to get their first passports because I understood that we needed them. And somewhere along the way, community said, hey, I want to participate and I want to help. Job Corps wasn't just a pipeline for people to be able to get jobs, but it also provided housing, food, transportation. Black-led nonprofits and mutual aid groups, now is the time to be able to strategize the ways in which we can expand trade programs, plumbing, HVAC, welding, Black-owned construction firms, salons, auto shop. Are you willing to pay for apprenticeships or internships? It is time to seek out Black foundations, local banks, and grant makers to subsidize stipends for participants, community centers, churches, masjids, spiritual temples. You should be the place that people can go to, not just for spiritual guidance, but for safe spaces. This is the moment for us to teach and learn cooperative economics and mobilize to better resource each other. Because let me say it like this, when people are hungry, they are going to find a way to eat.
They're closing Job Corps at the same time that they're having an enlistment shortage in the military. Job Corps has 119 centers nationwide. They serve about 25,000 students this year, but prior to COVID, they served about 60,000 students. Job Corps specifically makes sure that low-income people between the ages of 16 to 24 can learn a vocational trade. It makes sure that people that are most vulnerable have an employable skill that they can use in the real world. Republicans speak out of both sides of their mouths because on one hand, they'll say,
electricians, plumbers, we need more of those in our country,
while also closing down the same program that provides those things.
This is also a way of propping up the for-profit prison system. One of the main demographics that uses JobCorps are children or young adults that have court-ordered supervision or have a criminal record. The president said he wants to build more for-profit prisons, so now you have a demographic of people who can't learn a skill or a trade, also have criminal records and court-ordered supervision. Where do you think they go? The damage that this administration is going to do is going to be irreversible for generations to come.
Oh, I thought you wanted to promote trades. I thought you wanted to promote more people working with their hands and doing things that provided value. And that's why you guys were shitting on college and getting an education, because more people need to know trades. And then as soon as you cut the funding for that bullshit, right, or attack schools, then you cut the funding for JobCorps. JobCorps, right? The least, like the people who have almost nothing, close to nothing, or right on the edge. And they go to JobCorps to get skills. I know so many people who could have made the wrong turn. And they went to JobCorps and they got those skills. But now we know what the real goal is to fill those prisons. That's it.
So recently, MAGA came out and told us that they are boycotting Harvard, finding a way to take some money that they used to fund Harvard to, put in trade schools to make sure that people acquire skills instead of funding a big school that teaches whatever they thought in their head, right? Well, it turns out that they have now decided to even shut down trade schools itself. How will you shut down something that you are planning to fund? This particular trade school, this JobCorps, have been there for years, like helping different people. I saw testimony of people in the comment section of most of these videos who are sharing how this JobCorps has helped their life drastically, like it has changed their life, in ways that they cannot mention. Now you're shutting down something that has been changing the lives of people. It has changed the life of young people, giving them hope to live. Some of them are homeless individuals who try their best to get into this JobCorps, and right now they are back to the streets, homeless. By the time this thing shut down by 20th of June or 30th of June, whatever, people will be homeless. And you just wonder, I thought you said you wanted to take this money that is being used to fund this particular school to fund trade schools. How come instead of funding trade schools, you're shutting them down? And a lot of people are also speculating that it could be to, make some of these young people to join the military. And they're saying, you know what, we are not joining anything. You literally need to see videos of young people who are, on the internet crying and talking about how they are, at the edge of breaking through in their career. People who cannot afford school fees and all that. And JobCorps gave them hope. But right now, this administration shutting down this, they said it's temporary, even though they didn't say this is when it's going to ever come back. Now you're shutting it down temporary, and these people who, some of them stay there, they see it as their own house, their home. And now these children are going to go back to the street homeless. Some of them have no mom, no dad, nobody to run back to, no family members. They saw this JobCorps as a place of solace. And right now, it looks like, everything is just going down the drain. I feel so pity for them. You literally need to see videos of those people, on the internet crying. Some mothers who came up to pick up their kids, sharing stories of, the kids that they saw there and how most of them will go back into the street because they have nowhere to go to, no hope for the future. JobCorps gave a lot of them hope. So I felt that, because it's a trade school, that the government should have found a way to fund it or find a way to even make it better. If you feel that they're not giving you what you want, is to devise another means to make it even better. Instead of seizing the funds or even shutting it down, whether temporary or permanently, because it's going to affect some of these children who are already learning skills, to better their life, find themselves in blue collar jobs and all that. But I don't know. Well, guys, I would love to hear your opinion in the comment section. What do you think about this video and the government shutting down JobCorps? They said it's temporary. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment. Let's have that conversation. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to be part of the family. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. I look forward to seeing you all on my next video. Bye, guys.